Welcome back, everybody, to Ready, Aim, Live. I'm Jose.
And I'm Wes. And we are so happy to be able to bring you guys this topic today because it is something that we actually deal with on a daily basis. It's going to be the comparison of 9mm versus 380.
You know, it's funny, we do battle it every day because, like, I have a 380.
Yep.
Obviously I have a 9mm as well. But you always hear, on the internet back and forth saying 380 is a lighter round, lighter for women and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that you can get the same effect, the same kick off of a 9mm. If you put the same bullets, a 380 and a 9mm in the same pistol, that's when you can see the real comparison. But most of the time, you're going to have a different weapon. You'll have a smaller 380, like my Ruger. My Ruger LCP is very small, but that still can have a wild kick. So a lot of people get that confused.
Yeah, I mean, like, even with the one that I carry every day, which is the Kimber Micro 9, even that's a smaller base, which is kind of more like a 380, and it's still shooting a 9, so you're still getting that same, compact feel that you would with the 380, but you're actually getting the actual full strength of a 9mm. But I think some of the different comparisons that actually go on between 9mm and 380 are some of the things that we should probably go ahead and touch on today, because I feel like there's a little bit of a misunderstanding on the difference between them. I mean, in some countries they're kind of the same, but I think we should go ahead and touch base on that.
No, I definitely agree. So realistically, the facts all in hand, a 9mm and a 380 is the same size bullet. Hand in hand, same size bullet. It's literally the casing is longer for a 9mm. 380 is a slighter charge, slighter grain, way lower than what you would have for a 9mm. Like most of the time, 380s will usually top around 115 grains when you can have a pistol that has 147 grains. So I mean, you can obviously see the difference in numbers there. And so it's usually a lighter charge, and that's why some people do prefer it, because it is, going to be a lighter charge, lighter kick on the same platform if you're comparing. Like I said, if you go back to the different type of weapons, you could have a 380 smaller gun that's going to have more of a snappy kick to it, even on a 380 versus a 9mm.
Well, and I think one of the really cool things to think about is that, like, in other countries, they actually view the 380 as just a 9 short. They don't even call it a 380. They call it a 9 short. And I think in probably the United States, we like to defer those just because it's a little less confusing for just the average gun buyer.
Because let's face it, if America starts manufacturing ammunition in twelfths, there's going to be a lot more than 50 stars on that flag.
But in a realistic sense, they're basically the same thing. Yes, they're a little bit different. But, in Europe, they're called a 9mm short. So they view it as the same thing, just a little off from a regular 9mm as it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the facts of these bullets.
Well, 9mm versus 380, they both have the same diameter, but the projectile is usually longer on a 9mm, and the casings are longer.
Yeah, and some of the visible differences is going to be between the two, that the 9mm is actually taller than the 380. And the 9mm was actually developed by George Luger in Austria in 1901.
That's why we have the Luger pistol.
Yes,
and then the 380 was developed by John Browning. Gotta love the Browning. And along with that, Colt was the first manufacturer to actually use this caliber, the 380, in 1908 with their model 1908 pocket hammerless semi-automatic pistol.
Yeah, and on the heavier side of the 380, the grain is going to be about 115, and on the 9mm, the heaviest grain is going to be about 147 grains.
And the first military body to adopt the 9mm was the Army of Kaiser in 1904, the current military force of German at the time.
And in 1985, the U.S. military decided to use the 9mm Luger because they had an issuing on the M9 Beretta that was later developed to be used by the police departments.
You gotta love that Beretta, man. Chris, he when he pulled that one out that one day, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe he bought it. That gun is just so damn beautiful.
I love it, and he's got it tacked out. He's actually got the threaded barrel on it and everything. It's fucking beautiful.
Nice.
But they are similar. But don't try to shoot a 380 out of your 9mm, and don't try to shoot a 9mm out of your 380. Please do not. I know they are very similar in size, but that is not what your gun is designed for. It's not. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. I promise.
So with you having the 380, which is something I don't have, but I do have a smaller compact 9. Which one do you actually prefer? Like, if you go to the range and you're shooting a 380, and then you pick up the 9 and you shoot the 9, which one do you actually prefer shooting?
So I prefer shooting my 9. My 380 is literally, I keep that as a just in case gun. I honestly, I as much as I should go and shoot it more, which I mean I've shot it plenty. I know how to shoot it, know how it works, but I should train with it more. That is my fault on that. But I just have so many other guns that I prefer to shoot. But preferring to shoot, I definitely prefer the 9mm all day. It's just more comfortable to me, and it's usually a bigger pistol. My 380 is small, so but at the other hand, it when you take it from the range to an everyday life, when I'm actually carrying, like, dude, sometimes I just want to put some basketball shorts on and a tank top and just go hang out. And a 380 is small, compact. I could just slide it in my pocket and I'm fine. I can't do that with my 9mm. But like you have a micro 9. I have a subcompact 9, but that's still, they're a lot more heavy, a lot more weight. But like, it all depends on the gun, But we're really focusing on the ammo here. Like, definitely shooting wise, 9mm. There's always that conversation, 9mm versus 380, and people like to put it in a self-defense standpoint, and they believe that a 380 isn't powerful enough. It isn't going to be strong enough to take that down. And in my opinion, dude, I think that's a whole bunch of bullshit. It's bullcrap. I promise you, if you take someone that wants to be a rifle subject and just to get shot in the leg by a 9mm and then by a 380, I promise you they're going to tell you that the 380s can still fucking hit just as well as that 9mm. Especially with nowadays, I keep Hornady critical defense on me. It's a little higher grain, but the way that the expansion of the actual bullet on impact, the way it works, it's supposed to make more of a critical damaging hit. So you can't really have the argument. It's really up to the shooter. It's up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable. But definitely try it out. If you can get the same platform gun and shoot 9mm, and then take the same platform gun and shoot 380, you can really see the true difference. But you have to have the same platform in order to see that. And other than that, like I said, you have to be careful and make sure that the guns that you want to pick, if it is 380, make sure you shoot these guns first. You have to shoot them first. It could be a 380 and you think it's smaller. That gun can still be snappy, and you might not like that. You might feel comfortable with a subcompact 9mm. It's a little bigger, that you have more of a handle and more of a grip on. My LCP, bro, I can't even put my whole hand on it. I only use my 2 front fingers here, and then I keep these fingers off the top. So it's literally like this. I mean, that gun is so small, but it's still a fun little gun. And like I said, it's easy to take wherever you want on a daily basis.
It's even more fun to think about, like, in this day and age, we took a 9mm and we started putting it in even more things. Like, even, we did a review on Chris's CZ Scorpion that shoots 9mm. And to think that now we're putting 9mm in things that are even bigger. And, like, I want the CZ Scorpion, the carbine, putting it in longer barrels and, longer guns itself is really cool to see the development of how 9mm's gone from, just a pistol round to now even a rifle round, and even, working its way into that category as well.
No, I think it's cool, man. I mean, I think people really realize the true power of 9mm and what it can really do out of a longer barrel and how accurate they are. 9mm is a badass bullet, but you cannot refrain and say that 380 is just some pile of crap that you don't want to shoot, dude. I promise you that 380 is still good. It's still going to pack a punch.
So even my stepmom has a 6 hour 365, and she has it in 380, and it's small, compact, and even that gun, dude, that gun has a kick to it, and it doesn't have.
They're all gonna have that kick.
Well, it doesn't have the same kick as like the full, like my full size 9, but at the same time, it's still a fun gun to shoot, and it's nothing to scoff at. Like, that's a really good self-defense weapon.
Well, I think that kind of wraps it up here for 9mm versus 380. We want to make sure you guys please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us your favorite. Do you prefer 380? Do you prefer 9mm? Do you prefer a whole different caliber? You just say screw both of those, man. I'm 45 all day.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that really love their 45s. So I mean,
hey, maybe we'll do a video next about 45.
Hey, let's see what we can compare a 45 to.
I'm about it.
Always remember, guys, who's got your 6?
I'm not going back to the truck.
Oh, you look like somebody. Stop it. That looks so weird. That looks so much better though.
Oh my
When you
God.
did that, you blinked really slow.
Whoa, what?
Blinked really slow.
That just be really good.